Have faith, show love, give hope today. Together we're stronger in every way. From the streets to the heart, we're breaking the mold.
Welcome back to Have Faith, Show Love, Give Hope, the podcast. Today I have Carrillo Racing with Constance, Jesse, and Nico. And you guys race. You guys have a racing team. And you're the one that races, right? Or all you guys race?
Both of us.
Both of you guys? I want to know about her first. Like, you've been racing. How long you been racing for?
2 years.
So today is actually your race, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
How long have you been thinking about racing? What is your background like that?
I've always wanted to race, but I just never actually just got in the car to race.
Okay.
But last year when my dad brought the car, that's when I want to race. So he had the extra car. I jumped in and I tried to race.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
fun fact is when I was little, my mom took a picture of me with all my cars, like a racetrack, right? When she was little, we got a picture of her doing the same thing. And now I got a picture of him, all three of us as real little with a
with the race
racetrack.
cars. So you've been racing for a long time.
I started racing in 2007.
And it comes from your dad?
Yep. My dad has been racing since the 90s and stuff like that. He's been around Toledo Speedway and working on cars his whole life.
Oh, okay.
So he's a car junkie for sure.
So is that what inspired you, like just having it in the blood?
Yeah.
Like you think it's in the blood?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you get like an adrenaline rush or something?
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. And okay, so but how did you even know that was just from sitting around the shop or what?
Working on the car, being at the track, just the atmosphere at the track is totally different.
So and then how about like at home? Is it the cars you guys take them home and work on them and all that, right?
Yeah, we take them to my dad's shop to work on them.
Oh, so you got your own shop. So but they're not at home. So I was just thinking like you were raised around it the whole time. Mm-hmm. So it's like in your blood. You've always seen it around, you know?
Yeah, my dad and my grandpa used to always have race cars in their garages and everything too.
Mm. So what do you want to do? What is your dream for this?
To get as far as possible.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you guys won races and stuff like that?
I won my first heat race.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
That's good.
I almost won the feature, but got the best of me.
Okay. So what is that? Tell me a little bit about racing.
So when we first get to the track, we'd, unload the cars. We have to go through tech to make sure we're legal and stuff like that. Then we'll go out and practice. Then we'll qualify. So wherever you qualify determines where you're going to start in your heat race and in your feature. So she started fourth in her heat race, and I told her, I'm like, you have the fastest car out here. I'm like, just go and send it. Go 3 wide into one and stuff like that. Like, if you ever watched Days of Thunder.
No, I don't.
Oh, there's an old school movie, Days of Thunder.
Yeah.
You got to watch it. If you want to know about racing, Days of Thunder is what it is.
It teaches you.
Yeah, Harry tells the driver, Cole Trickle, to go and stick. And, that's where I felt as she goes through that corner, it's going to go. And so she did that and led the whole thing in the heat race and won, and that was just, I didn't expect her to, but it was just an awesome thing.
Yeah.
In her heat race, she wins that, and that's just awesome feeling, just to get a win, a checkered, it ain't, it's kind of meaningless in a way, but it's still, you won a heat race, So when she went in the feature, she had started on pole. Pole is like first place.
Yeah.
So she starts on pole.
And that's from her winning the heat race, right?
No.
Oh,
no. Whoever qualifies the fastest draws, and if they draw like a 8 or a 10, whoever's in that place starts in front. So the fastest car decides who starts in the starting lineup.
Okay.
And stuff in the feature.
And then you're learning all this stuff like as you go. Your dad, but this is stuff you already kind of knew.
I knew some of it, but some things I didn't know.
Okay. So you're learning.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know anything about that.
So with her starting, racing and not knowing the terminology of anything, it's hard for me
Yeah.
to help her see what's wrong with the car, because it ain't just jump in it and go, because there's a lot of stuff to do,
Yeah.
and I remember last year she was like, the car is loose, the car is loose. So we adjust on the car to make it tighter, like a hairpin turn, make the car real tight. And she was like, no, it's still loose. So one day I jumped in it to drive it, and it wasn't loose. The steering was loose. So I changed the
Oh.
gearbox. So, it's difficult for me to try to help her, because she don't know, she don't have that experience.
Yeah,
But
she doesn't know exactly, like, to tell you exactly what it is.
Mhm.
You felt something loose,
Right. I
but
just
you didn't know
don't know
exactly.
what it's coming from.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what's making it loose.
Oh, okay. So there's a bunch of like little stuff in the racing, huh?
yeah.
You
Yeah,
can, like-
ask her, how easy is it?
Yeah,
How
e-
easy was it when it was your first race?
Not easy at all.
Like what? Like
I was a
what?
grandstand driver.
What's that mean?
I mean, I thought I could just jump in and win. It's
Uh,
way harder. Way
What's so
harder.
hard about it?
It's nothing like driving like a regular car. You have to have a neck brace all strapped in. You have to have a helmet. There's clips on the neck brace that hold your helmet, so you can't even like look around.
Damn. So
There's
you
no
feel
mirrors.
claustrophobic, right?
No,
I mean, but you
fine.
feel
It's
like
comfortable.
you're
and
like locked in.
yeah, for safety
Yeah,
reasons.
yeah.
But it's totally different. My first race, I went out there and I spun out 3 times back to
Oh, you
back to
did?
back.
Yeah. So why? Because you do what you got to like know when to do this, when to
Right,
do
when
that.
to get on the gas, when to let off.
Oh, and that all comes with experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the more you do it, the more
Yeah.
you learn.
Every lap is you got to take experience and learn every lap.
And how long you been driving, just regular driving, since you were 16?
Since I was 18 legally.
18 legally, but you never drove before that. Well, how come like you didn't drive when you were 16, and especially in a racing family?
I mean, I drove his car. I just didn't have like my temps.
Oh, you didn't go get the license and all that. Okay, so but you have because like when I was younger, like I was like 16 driving, younger than that. I think 13. I would steal my mom's car. You probably did all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing.
You probably took your dad's car.
Yeah. We did got in some trouble back in the day.
I mean, of course, like just playing around and just, I would take my mom's car and just go around the neighborhood and stuff, because like I think the adrenaline rush is like in a lot of us, especially when you were younger. We want to get that speed. That's why it's dangerous, but it's actually pretty cool what you do, because you're in that environment, you know. So that thing, that neck brace, that's something. Remember, like Dale Earnhardt, the dad or whatever,
Right?
He like broke his neck because he wouldn't wear those things.
Yeah.
That was like the most simplest crash too.
Yeah, and that's what we wear. It's called a Hans device, so it just prevents that, just in case. Like, we don't go nearly as fast as those guys, but it's definitely safety.
How fast do you guys go?
See, it just depends on what track we're at. Like Toledo, it's not as fast in the factory stock division, compared to if you were in the sportsman series, they go a lot faster. So, but we don't go by speedometers. We go by RPMs, we try to turn certain RPMs and stuff. So.
Oh, okay. So you that's kind of, you have to learn that, huh?
Yeah.
What kind of race cars do you drive?
Factory stock.
Factory stock. And there's a bunch of different leagues and different cars and different styles and stuff?
Yes.
And like in Toledo, like you know how there's like faster cars and slower cars? Is there like a certain type of car that you guys only race?
Just factory stock.
Factory stock.
Yeah, Toledo and Flat Rock, you got multiple divisions. Super late models, those are real fast. You have this late model sportsman division,
Mm-hmm.
and then street stocks, then a factory stocks. And they also
Okay.
have a figure 8 class.
So that's
Basically, you go in like a 8,
like a little A, like the whole
Yep.
time.
And they try to meet in an intersection.
And then what kind of cars does she have? What kind of
Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo?
Yep.
And you bought it for her?
Well, actually,
you just bought it, right?
I got it just to mess around,
Mhm.
you know. And it was a good deal my buddy had for it. So we were just messing around with it, and she was like, "Oh, I want to drive it." So we were like, "All right." So we threw her in it, and
Yeah.
you know, here we are today.
Yeah. And what made you even say that to your dad? Because it was already like, what, you thought about it already?
Well, I've always wanted to race. I've always grew up around it since I was 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had that opportunity to get in it, and I got in it.
Yeah. Did you already know like what number you wanted on the car and
Yeah.
everything? Yeah. And so what, you painted it to make sure like,
Well, it was already painted and had numbers for it, and my buddy had number 1 on it, so we left it there, you know, because he did it for his grandpa. His grandpa raced and passed and stuff, and that was his number. So, you know, out of respect and everything for, you know, my good buddy Ryan, we just left it that way, you know, honor him and have fun with the car because that was what it was for, you know. So yeah, when she got in it, our other good friend Chad had, you know, a whole fire suit helmet from his daughter, her racing 4-wheelers and stuff like that. So we had stuff for her to just jump in and go, and you know, rest is history.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then but now it's number 5.
Yep.
Oh, so eventually, because you got into racing, like, so you got your own number, and that's your favorite number?
Yes.
Yeah.
So my dad ran 10, I run 10. So it's just kind of ironic how they both love the 5 and I run 10, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So that equals out, you
It
know?
adds
So
up. It adds
it's
up.
definitely kind of cool, you know?
Yeah. So all these things, dude, are lining up, like, because I believe like everything's a sign. All these, like, this thing that's lining up. This guy has this suit, this car, this thing. Like, everything's like, do you guys believe in God and stuff like that?
Yes.
Because I want to know a little bit about your belief, and like let's ask your dad. You grew up what?
Catholic. Yep.
And then what? Tell me a little bit about
Grew up and stuff, and my sister was murdered in 85. So my parents like stemmed back from it because I remember going to Sunday school and stuff like that. Then after that happened, you know, my ma kind of pushed back from everything and kind of closed us off to certain things. And
Yeah,
stuff, you
yeah.
know?
Because we
So-
start blaming God. We're like, God, why? You know, so it happens to all of us.
Right. So, you know, then she didn't really grow up around too much religion because I didn't force it. And I was like still back from it, you know, which
Yeah.
it was there, but it wasn't engaged, you know. So she didn't grow up really religious or anything and stuff. So she didn't let her.
Yeah. And then how about you? When did you start thinking about that kind of stuff?
Just probably 3 years ago is when I just started doing my own Bible study and everything.
Yeah. And what did you do? You start reading the Bible yourself?
Yep. I would just read the Bible for a certain amount of a day, study, write it, read it out loud, say it again out loud, and just try to put it in my everyday life.
Yeah. Praying and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And I think it's working, man. Whatever you guys are doing, people are like, the Bible, you can see in the Bible, there's people that help each other, you know, they help each other. They come to you and they like by you believing in God, and then you guys doing your social media and telling people that you need help. Like, look at Richard. So we're both sponsored by Florio,
Yeah.
which is Richard, our friend Richard's floor company, and he sponsors your race team, and he sponsors my podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Everything
Blessing.
connects, you know.
yeah,
So,
and somehow, so those are all blessings. Like, we gotta be able to, if we can see all the evilness that happens in the world, why can't we believe in the goodness? Why can't we believe in God putting all of us together?
right.
And the
Right.
more we believe in something good, the more we see good things in each other, the more we help each other,
Yep.
and then we can see God in each other, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
you know?
I feel that, just with our conversations through racing and stuff, and I try to, calm her down when she's upset and stuff because she's tempered,
Mm,
and that's what she has to work on is, we can't help you if you're tempered and you don't know
mm,
what your car just did or anything. So, you know, I always got a reminder to think about all these people who came to watch you,
mm,
and that's amazing because, you don't get that. We were at Toledo and we ran,
mm,
and we, at the end of it, there was still one race left. We went to the front grandstands to watch the race. That's where we ended up meeting Richard for the first
mm.
time, at the track.
Wow.
And so we were up there and we sat down to watch the final race and stuff. And I see a couple sitting next to us and they're like looking at us, smiling. And I'm like, who are these guys?
Mhm,
So the dude comes up and introduced us and he's like, we seen your guys' post on Facebook. We came here for her. And
mm.
I'm like, are you serious? Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like they never been to Toledo Speedway, which a lot of people don't know it
It was
exists.
Richard and his girl and his wife,
No, no,
or
no,
oh,
no.
somebody else?
Yeah,
Just
Oh.
whole different
random
people.
Oh,
that
wow,
seen
so
our
Random.
Facebook
They
post.
Yeah.
seen you guys?
Yep.
Oh.
They seen the post on Facebook and they just came to check her out,
Mm.
and that was just awesome,
Yeah, and more people are gonna check you out because like it's a good thing. So today you guys are gonna race together
Yeah.
Yes, 100
at
laps.
100 laps,
Yep.
and you guys got and you. So this is like your LeBron James moment where you race with your daughter.
Yep. Yep. It's gonna be a tough one as long as she can keep up.
Right.
Yeah. So who's
So,
gonna win? Who's out of you two?
I don't know.
Off
I don't
of
know.
experience, you could
Yeah.
say him, but off of rebelness, you could say me.
Oh, rebelness. Okay, so you're
Yeah.
gonna.
Well, our last race we raced, I dropped back just to see what she can do,
Mhm.
to be more experienced on watching her drive. And it was amazing to see, I left that little door open and she just came right in, filled that hole and tried to move forward
Mhm.
in the cars. And that's just awesome, And I didn't try to just beat her or just
Yeah, yeah.
pass her because whatever, it was for a reason because I need to learn what she's doing to make her better.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always for something's always for a reason.
Mhm.
Of course.
So
And it comes with all repetition. So by you letting her, you're watching her and letting her do her thing, and like that's showing her exactly what to do, and
right,
you're
give her
guiding
more.
her. You're guiding her
'Cause,
without even doing.
yeah, you have to have
Exactly.
a sense of presence when a car is there because you can't see, you can't look over or nothing. We got
Mhm.
the Hans device on, so you have to feel a car there, and
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
hard to do.
All right. So tell me about the the yellow. What is it? Green flag. I don't know anything about that. Tell me.
Yeah, just let them know
Like,
about
yeah,
that.
because we
The
had.
first heat race win.
Yeah.
That whole day. Explain that whole day. Let them, get in your brain how it felt and stuff like that.
Um, the whole day, it was a cool day. We wasn't having problems with the car, was we?
Mm-mm.
No,
No.
it was a cool day. We had everything good, ready, and I went out for my heat race. I started fourth.
Yeah.
I started fourth, ended up first,
Mhm.
led all 8 laps?
8 laps.
8
Yeah.
laps. And then I went on to the feature, led 16 laps.
Yeah.
And that was probably one of the like best races I've been in yet.
Yeah. And then you got like little squid.
I got 3 wide, felt like I was getting sandwiched. They was doing everything to get in my place.
And
And,
how does it feel like when you're sitting in the car, like you can feel because you can't see nobody.
no.
How do you do
You
it?
gotta either try to feel them when they're bumping you or listen for their motors.
Mm. And then does it feel like it comes natural to you?
Sometimes it comes naturally, but sometimes I can't hear the motors, or
Uh-huh.
sometimes I don't even feel somebody bump me and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, and do you have ear plugs in and stuff like that?
yeah,
Or like things like whatever?
they're just like little headphones.
Oh, like little headphones.
Yep.
And you can hear somebody or no?
Only the safety crew.
Safety crew?
Yeah.
And how do you know how many laps you've been through and all that kind of stuff?
When we coming out of turn 2,
Yeah.
it has a digital board, so it tells you who's in first place and
Oh.
it tells you how many laps you have to do.
So have you're like, damn, I'm in first? Oh shit, I gotta
Yeah.
go. So when you're in first, does it feel like it takes longer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
It felt like I was going already 30 laps when I was doing 16.
Yeah. Because you just want it to be over so you can win.
Right.
And then when you're like in the back. So what happened? Okay, tell me about the whole when you crash and the tap and all that. Tell me about that.
So I was coming out of turn 4. The 90 car ended up bumping me just a little bit. I ended up going down and pushing on the 72 car, and he ended up spinning. And so I didn't take the blame, and he didn't take
Because
the blame.
you didn't see him, right?
Exactly. He was a little bit behind my
And then
door.
tell me about the take the blame. What does that mean?
It's where you...
It's a spinny rule. So
Okay.
if 2 cars collect each other and the caution comes out, they ask, who's going to take the blame? This car, that car, tap on the roof.
So one guy will tap on the roof. That
then
means he
he'll
took
go
the
to
blame.
the back. He'll
By
take the blame
himself?
by
He just-
himself.
Yep.
It said, my bad, I go to the back. But if none of them do it, they both go to the back.
So, okay.
So then you have 2 angry guys
Yeah.
or girls
Yeah.
in the back. you know?
So it's better like if you accidentally just take the blame.
Yeah,
and go in the back.
It's common courtesy, if you know you stuffed it in there
Mhm.
just for a Hail Mary to make it stick and you cause that,
Yeah.
take the blame.
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't.
They
but,
don't.
No.
That sucks. And then
It
you both
does.
go in the back.
Like,
So-
'cause a lot of guys overdo their driving and very aggressive, and they won't take the blame or accountability or nothing, and I always grew up not to be a dirty driver. My dad never was a dirty driver, beating or halfway spinning someone out to pass them. So I never took that chance, or I never, try to be too aggressive,
Yeah.
like Dale Earnhardt Jr. or
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He
He was aggressive racer.
Yeah, he let him know, and I always gave people the benefit of the doubt, 'cause I don't want to be, Jesse's, he'd take you out, or no, I'm gonna race you clean and I'm gonna try to beat you clean, so you can't say nothing about me,
Yeah.
I want to just have that extra edge. I don't need to beat and bang you to get by you,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
and that's what I try to tell her.
That's the best way to do it. Dale Earnhardt, he's one of my favorite. Like that's the only racer I ever like looked at, and then he died from just a little accident. Just like it was like a little bump on the wall, and he like broke. So what happened to him?
Fractured his skull.
And then how do you know that? You looked into that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the whole thing that you wear? What is that thing?
The neck harness.
Hans device.
Hans
Hans
device
device.
with the helmet, then they click onto your helmet.
And then do you feel claustrophobic or?
I'm not really scared of any tight spaces, so
Oh, no.
I feel fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we got a 5-point harness, so you're strapped in. You're not moving around,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't want to move around. Going through the corners because you'll just be like,
Yeah.
swaying
So-
back and forth, and you want to just be tight and just on the
Okay.
wheel.
So you guys are because you guys are prepared. You guys have it in you to do that. So
Mhm.
you already know I'm going in this race. Strap me
Right.
in.
Yeah.
Right,
It ain't like, oh my God, I'm about to get no.
No.
right.
You know what you're getting into.
And it's funny because before I started racing, I'm talked, I can do that and that. Basically a grandstand driver.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't do so well my first time because I didn't know how to race.
Yeah,
It's definitely a different thing, and her first experience,
yeah. How was it? How was your first race ever?
My first race, I spun out 3 times
Yeah.
back to back to back.
You did?
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah,
as easy as
It was terrible.
Was it? And then
Yeah.
and then what? But you learn, right?
Yeah.
That was a lesson. Like I need to do something. What did you learn?
I learned that I needed to stop stomping on the gas and stop hitting too much on the brake.
Because
Yeah.
a little bit of both was messing you up.
Yeah, definitely.
you got to have good good foot control.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you're
You
using
gotta be
both your
finesse.
feet, right?
Yep, you have to.
It's not like a regular car where you drive one
Nope.
foot.
Yeah,
Both feet.
because you lose seconds.
Yeah.
going back and
Yeah,
forth.
you can't do that in a
Right.
race.
Mhm.
So you
Dang, so you gotta
wanna
be
try
like,
to
you're hitting the gas, and then a little bit
Well,
of
you
brake.
kind of want to tap the gas or the brake a little hard and try to ride the brake and get back harder on the gas. Then keep your car to swoop the
Mhm.
corners.
And then
That's what you really want to do.
how did you even know any? Like, did you know about all that?
We've talked about it, but
Yeah.
I never went into it.
So with that first time, you're just like,
Whoa.
you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
It
Huh?
was crazy going
And you have to like
on.
jump in through the window and all that.
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome.
Mhm.
And then okay, so how does your mom? What does your mom think about it?
She's proud of me doing
She
it.
is. She's
Yeah.
not scared. Like, oh no.
Oh, she's
I know
definitely
moms are like,
scared.
mija, no, haga
Yeah,
eso.
she's worries too much.
She does, yeah.
Yeah.
Does she be like, see, be safe, make sure you do this, make sure you do that?
Yeah. Make sure you have everything. Make sure you're staying hydrated and everything.
Yeah, moms are like that.
They
And
are.
then you're like, everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
She
right?
got everything. It's okay.
And she's like, but you always think everything's gonna be fine. Like, dude, that's my life too, you know?
Yeah.
Women fear like I always say though, but if we believe in God, should we fear? No, let's have God with us on our side.
Yep.
And let's go because at the end of the day,
Because if anything, he's gonna take the wheel.
he's gonna take the wheel. He's gonna help us win. Of course, we got to be careful. We got to take all the precautions.
Mhm.
We got to make sure. But also, if we really believe in God, let's go.
Yeah.
God got our back.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
at
still
the end
gotta-
of the day.
At the end of the day, anything can happen any day.
Mm-hmm.
Any day. We can be walking down the street and a tree falls. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Literally.
Right.
So I mean, you hear it you see on the news like a tree fell on a person driving down the street, and like,
Yeah, that was crazy.
damn, I seen that like, not that long ago. I was
That's the thing I try to, all the guys at work, like we can't take things for granted. I work on semi-trailers.
Mhm.
So, with God overwatching, we need to be more, vigilant about our safeties or, because anything can happen.
Mhm.
We're never promised, the next 20 minutes,
of course,
so it's really a good thing to have God there.
yeah, to protect us. God sends us people to help us. He sends us angels to protect us for ourselves. Because they say there's people that are like, they'll be like, man, I see a bunch of angels around you. You're
Right.
protected, buddy. I see stories like that. And then I see people like, man, dude, the devil's around you. You better run.
Right.
And I listen to a lot of testimonies, and they'll be like, people like, oh, the angels are around me. And I'll be like, man, is that true? But it's true because, like, think about it, right? You guys started this race thing, and then all of a sudden there's people coming to your lives and say, hey, I want to come see you guys race. Hey, I want to be your sponsor. Hey, all of a sudden, like Richard got a hold of me, like, Yogi, I want to get them on the podcast. Richard just never even asked me for him to be on the podcast. And then like he's like my brother. I've known him since we were super young. For him to just ask me to put you two on the podcast.
Yeah.
See, like, how can that not be Christ-like?
Right.
He's Christ-like.
And that's the thing with,
And he's not even big like I'm like, he's not like cried, but you can see the beautifulness in his heart.
definitely.
yeah, just like my buddy Brandon at work, he's all about God. He follows more and does more Bible wise.
Mhm.
And he pulls me in, he knows when I need to be right and
Yeah.
stuff. So he definitely pulls me in and stuff. And,
Of
and
course.
it's just awesome to know because he's much younger than me and he knows where to get me at,
Yeah.
So,
Plus he's spreading that's planting seeds.
yeah,
that's what we're
he
doing.
always tells me.
That's what we're doing. Like, that's what I'm doing with my podcast. I'm just going to sit with you guys and we're going to plant some seeds. I'm planting seeds with you guys. You guys are planting seeds with me, and we're planting seeds with the people. Because we're just talking about life.
Mhm.
But then you can actually say, look, man, I did this racing thing, and all of a sudden these people were helping me, and these people were helping me. And, my dad, look how beautiful the relationship. Like, you get to spend some time with your daughter racing. You guys are going to race together. Like, dude, There's people that their daughter, as soon as she's 16,
Right.
you never see her again.
Right.
She's gonna go and hang out with her friends and her boyfriends and then and you're like, hey, daughter, I'm over here. And she's like, yeah, I seen you on your birthday, bro.
Right.
And they bring you some socks. Here, Dad, and here's your birthday. And you're like, just race with me. So I mean, this is beautiful, man.
Yeah. Today is gonna be a good day. As
Yeah.
long as I think we got the cars together. We've been working, you know, and met some great people who does stuff we don't know how to do. And the cars just sound amazing now.
Wow.
And it is just awesome. It's just, you know, this guy, Matt, who does our carburetors, he is just an amazing person. He just loves helping people. And it's you know, he calls me like he's known me 20 years. We only known each other like 3 weeks.
Wow.
You know, and it's awesome. He is definitely a great guy.
Yeah, he does your carburetors.
Yep. He rebuilds them and everything. And he's definitely, you know, he don't say he's not biased to nobody. He wants to help everybody the same. But he always says, oh, for your daughter, I'm gonna make sure it's right. You know, which is awesome. You know, you gotta love males loving women in racing, you know, because they are the true underdogs at the end of the day, you know, because, you know, there's that whole stigma, women can't drive, you know, so, you know, but it's definitely awesome knowing that she's learned, you know. My biggest fear was her looking like a crazy woman out there, had no idea what's going on, you know, and wrecking and destroying stuff. And it was definitely complete opposite.
Opposite. She's like,
that was awesome.
She's like higher, like she's like better than average, huh?
Yeah. She's
better than the average rookie.
Yeah, better than average rookie. And then you said the first year you told her just to take the blame at all the races. So it kind of like gives you, what does that do?
That'd give the other drivers gain her respect to the other drivers, you know, because they're out there and they're beating and banging at Toledo Speedway. It's a really small track. And if you're crying about getting beat and banged, then you shouldn't drive, you know, because that track is going to beat you and wear you out. And, you know, you just gotta give what you put out, you know, so you can't leave that track without wrecking or getting, you know, pushed out of the way or whatever, you know. So her first year, I told her, you know, just hold your line, you know, just keep your car straight. If cars pass you, they lap you, you know, you don't, there's no expectations, you know, just go out there and just have fun and learn the car.
Yeah. And take the blame,
you
just
know,
earn your respect.
Right. So they'll pass her and lap her and everything. And usually the guys who come by her, like, you did great out there. And she like, you guys lapped me. No, you did great. You know, you drove your car, you stayed in your line, you didn't get in the way, you didn't wreck, and you drove around the trailer. That's great. You know, that's always a blessing, you know. It's the little things that matter, you know. I remember James Hazlitt, he used to race factory stocks last year, and he's a good friend too. He came and, you know, he ended up winning a feature last year, and he came, gave her a hug, and was like, you did amazing. You know, you stayed right there. You know, I not 1 second, I was scared to go underneath you or pass you or anything. I knew you were going to hold your car, you know, and, you know, that's awesome to hear, you know, as a father, you know, the respect of, you know, she's gaining with other drivers.
With the fellow drivers.
Like she can hold her car and you ain't got to be scared to go by her because she's going to do something crazy, you know, so yeah.
Because it's so easy, right, when you're going that fast? And we don't know exactly how many miles per hour you guys go?
It's hard to say, you know, maybe at Toledo is like 50, you know. It's hard to tell, you know.
What is it? How do you guys do it?
The RPMs.
Yep. So you know when to turn? You have to like slow your RPMs?
We only care about our RPMs after we get done racing, so we know where we're at, what's going on, and that gives us a lot of data.
So when you're driving, you don't know, you don't care about none of that.
Yeah, because at Toledo, you don't have enough time. You're on the gas and you're back off it. That's how small it is. So it's just stomp on it and go. And, you know, at Flat Rock, you have a little bit more space. so you can get on it more.
What Toledo's just one loop like this?
Yep.
And
Yep.
it kind of it like
It
lifts
has
up
a little
like
banking. Has a little
Yeah,
banking.
a little.
Yeah. Flat Rock has more banking and it's a little bigger. It's a
Mhm.
lot bigger than Toledo.
that. So you just go in one circle. Do you get dizzy?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Does it feel like longer than it really is, or what?
Yeah.
Does one circle feel like a long ass road?
No.
No, it feels like one circle, like a whole bunch of circles.
Yeah.
It
Just-
depends. I guess it depends. If you're leading, it feels
Oh, yeah.
forever. And
Uh,
if your car is not handling good,
Also,
yeah.
if you're
it's
up next to competition, beating and banging.
yeah.
And does that make it longer or stressful or something? When they're like,
Makes me more determined.
oh, it makes you want to beat them even worse.
Yeah.
Oh, like you trying to pressure
I
me?
want to
Is that?
show them.
Okay, and then like if your car gets like crashed up, then you got to do the body work and all that.
Yeah, we do
before
all
your
the,
next race,
Yeah.
we do it all. You know?
and you do all that.
No,
You're
she helps.
Oh,
When she got into it, I told her, it's gonna be hands on. It ain't no pull up princess and get in.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
you gotta, put in
Actually
work.
so you get greasy, you do tires, body work, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
taking out transmissions, taking
For
out
real?
the engines, taking out gears, putting new everything in.
Man, is it easier to work on those kind of cars because they're stripped down than a regular car?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the motor's right there with all of that plastic and all that.
Mhm.
You
Yep,
know,
it's a lot easier because we got to kind of gut them out anyways. So
yeah, you got
it's-
motor, transmission, gearbox, like
yeah,
with all of that little plastic fancy
Yeah.
shit and all
Right.
that.
in the way where you gotta use a mirror to find the nut.
Yeah.
None of that.
So you've learned all this throughout the years on how to work on motors and transmissions and all that?
Yep.
Wow, do you do that on the side? I got some transmission.
No. I kind of stemmed back after my son was born. He's 4 now. So I kind of pushed back from working on the side because I don't got time.
Yeah, but you do know how to do all that.
Yeah, I know how to do some stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't really. I'm just busy now.
Yeah, where do you work?
At Northwest Trailers. They're one of our biggest sponsors. They take care of, the facility where we work on them.
Yeah.
They let me bring them in the shops and I do all my work and whatever.
Wow.
So they're a total blessing,
Yeah, I cleaned for a place called Double A Trailer. They fix semi trailers, huh?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like Double A or something like that, and they're over there like on Oregon Road in Perrysburg, and they take these big semis, just the trailers, and they put the new this, the new tire, the new this, and that.
Yeah. We do everything top to bottom. We shorten trailers 53 down to 48 foot. We do the roofs, the bogies with the tires that are attached to. We do everything on a trailer. If you've seen it, we fix it all.
Wow,
And so,
that's cool. So they're the biggest. That's their number one sponsor.
yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, and they sponsor your daughter or both of you guys like race
Well, they
teams?
sponsor me because I work there, so it's both cars. Or
Okay.
they take care of me.
Yeah.
So
Of course. So you got a race team? Is that the guy? What is it? How do you say it in English? Carrillo. In Spanish, I want to say in Spanish, Carrillo. Carrillo.
Yeah, you got to roll the R's though.
Carrillo. And then in English,
Carrillo
Racing. So that's your race team.
Yeah.
And you guys got a sweet logo and all that. You guys need to put it in the front of your shirt too, or something.
Well, this is just a test.
Rough
They're
draft.
they're using a different style of templates that he's using at Graphics by JR.
Okay.
So he's trying something different right now till we get our final design set.
Oh, okay.
That's our problem.
Yeah.
We're holding it up kind of.
Yeah.
So for today we're gonna have these. He got some cool portraits for autographs tonight. So when we do autograph sessions, she got some cool portraits to sign.
So that's cool.
stuff.
People come up to her and get
Yeah.
some. Oh, that's
I
awesome.
got some stickers for the kids that he made.
Because you're like almost like a woman racing is not like every day, you know?
Right.
So you're like almost like an attraction.
And especially at our local tracks, they love seeing that, you know.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. You know, Brian, he does all our photography at the track and posted our promo video for her. He made all that up and stuff. And, you know, so he's doing a lot, you know, with photographs for her and videos and her
Is that who does the
hero
social
cars.
media stuff?
Well, he does his stuff and sends them
And
to
then
us,
sends
and
it
we
in.
post
And you
it.
post
You
it.
know, just like that promo video we posted on Monday. You know, I even asked him, you know, what music are you listening to or thinking about on this, you know, video? And he's like, well, it's kind of hard because he got, you know, I think Facebook kind of blocked it because, you know, rights and stuff like
revenue
that.
sharing, all that stuff.
Right. So my cousin Gifted, he made a song for me for racing back in the day, you know, a few years ago.
Yeah.
So the whole song is about me racing, you know. So he made that and I sent it to him. And I'm like, you don't have to worry about that because I own the rights, you know. So that's awesome, you know. I got family that just takes 20 minutes and just boom, like, you know, it's all like I can't go write a whole rap. Like my brain don't work, but my cousin just
It's
did
so
it.
beautiful.
Come on, let's go to the
Like
studio. And
you guys have the arms of God wrapped around you guys. For real. You said this guy just comes and fixes your carburetor. He's the nicest guy in the world. Your cousin's giving you a song. Like people are just walking up to you guys like you guys have, he's right there. He's calling you every day. He's telling you every day, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Whatever you're the Bible you're reading, keep doing it because it's working. It's working, and eventually we'll all be able to see it. And it's gonna be like I can see a little hesitant on you because you still got a lot of things that you're working on. But Jesus he's coming to you, man. He's coming to you through your daughter. He's showing you what good people can do and what good people will do for you as long as we open up our minds and it's all about right here, man.
right.
El corazón, the heart. The heart. When Jesus came back, or no, when Jesus came, he just wanted us to be kids again. He wanted us to be playing in the park. You know how when all the little kids are playing in the park, don't matter what color they are, they're all playing together and everybody's having a great time. That's what Jesus wants. He wants to open our hearts so we can like see the most beautiful thing of in life, which is look at the good things people that are doing for you.
Right.
That's Jesus. It's not about religion and rules and suits and no, it's about you and me and your son having a religion with Jesus.
Right.
Following him. God sent him down for us to follow him. So he would pray and he would go into the garden. He would pray, my Father. So we got to do that because we got to follow him. So that's what he was doing. He was praying. We got to pray. He was this. He was doing that. Everything. He was being nice. He was being loving. So we got to be nice. We got to be loving. He was being caring. People were taking advantage of him. And, well, take advantage of me. Do whatever you want. He didn't care. So that's why God sent us a model to model. So why wouldn't we want to model him?
Right.
And then when he got murdered by the religion and the the Pharisees and the people of the government, that's who killed Jesus. That's who they always trying to lock everybody down. So he's all over you guys' family. I can see it. Not that I can see angels or nothing,
Right.
but I can see the angels. Yeah. I can see that person. Richard. I can see that. They're all helping us. I mean, me helping you. You got. To me, this is helping me, you know? We gotta let, I always say at the end, let go and let God. Because how many times have someone come up to you, help you? You're like, no, I got it, you know? Right. But really that person is coming to help you. God's sending him to help you. Me too. I've did that so many times. No. But now look, I got a whole nother thing. I'm doing more. Because sometimes we gotta let go and let God. Yeah, so tell me a little bit about you. Tell me a little bit about growing up and stuff like that.
Yeah, like we touched on, you know, my sister was murdered in 85, you know. So my mom always wanted to bounce us around because the neighbor murdered my sister, you know. So she didn't trust people, you know. So we bounced around and, you know, I get into high school and hanging around the wrong people, and I got locked up in juvie, and
Mm.
Judge Flores, God rest his soul, he's my grandpa's really good friends with him, so he helped us out a little bit, try to get me out of Toledo you know to have a better life,
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of worked in my favor, if I moved down south to just north of Columbus, they would let me go being on probation, and because there was nothing there but farmland,
Mm-hmm.
so my parents did that, and and I felt if I would never got caught in school, I probably would be in prison for murder, because
Mm.
that's what we were going to do.
Okay.
That was the whole set, and and I thank God I was caught,
Mm-hmm.
because I wouldn't be where I'm at today, So
Yeah. Thank
that's
God.
definitely always an eye opener, and it's like, oh man, I had to do this, and I missed my whole high school experience,
Mm-hmm.
that sucks, but the bigger blessing is I didn't take no one's life.
Yes.
That would have been, you know,
Yeah.
really hard
Yeah. Of
to
course,
to
because
try,
then you have to meet your maker later on.
right?
Like,
Over something foolish, at that, so
well, I
here we
mean,
are.
but you said that you were gonna go do something to the person that did something to your sister.
No, no, no,
Oh, it was a
no,
whole different
no.
thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
because I was gonna say
was
because
85. Yeah,
that
I
would
was
have been
only
a good
6.
reason. That's
Yeah, I
why.
was only 6 when my sister passed. So,
Oh,
but in
okay.
high school is gang stuff, and
Okay, yeah, yeah.
so
And you went to Way High School?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know exactly like the neighborhoods that we grew up
Yeah.
in and like the environment. That's why I did a podcast and somebody was like, "Oh yeah, you did a crime. You got to do." And I said, "Yes, I know. I did a crime. I went to jail. I paid my time." But we also have to know the environment that we're in. Crime is so easy when you grow up around crime.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Right.
can fall in it easy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Some people will
Or
think
by
some,
mistake.
huh?
Or by mistake.
Yeah. And the people were saying like, oh, because I wouldn't. People were saying because I said I made mistakes in life, and I'm on this podcast I did. People were like, oh, you can't take accountability. I'm like, I did. I went to. I said I made a mistake. I went to jail. I got out. I said I'm sorry to God. I did all my time. What else do you
Mhm.
want? You want me to like beg you, some guy
Right.
on the internet? I'm
Right.
sorry,
Forgive
alien
me, like you're
alien
God.
head guy that don't
Right.
even have a name.
Yeah. Some people, I don't know. Yeah, some people they don't think before they talk.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's
Or
just put it
type.
that way,
They don't
So
have common sense. Sometimes.
Yeah, forget them people. All right, so yeah, so that's good. I'm so glad because we wouldn't like your life would have been completely different. You wouldn't even had your kids,
right.
You probably wouldn't have nothing. You would have been in jail for your whole life if you would have got in any kind of deep trouble like that.
Mhm.
So good thing, man, because God had bigger plans for you in the
Right. Yeah,
racing.
because with him, Nico,
Mhm.
she's my youngest daughter.
Oh
I have
yeah,
3
yeah, yeah,
daughters,
yeah.
and Nico's 4. I'm 46 years old. I have no business having a toddler again.
Yeah.
It's hard. My wife is, has them all the time, so it's hard for her. Because you know we're older. We should be, living it up now. Our kids are older.
Yeah.
But when we found out she was pregnant, they said it was a ghost pregnancy. So basically saying it was a false pregnancy, and
Mm.
and I felt some type of way because my son, he died when he was 3 months old back in '99,
Wow.
so I feel that God gave me 3 daughters to learn how to love,
Mhm.
for me to experience a son and raise a son to be a man.
Mhm.
I think, you know, I think the world of how things happen for certain reasons in certain times in life.
Mhm.
It's definitely hard to figure out, what to do tomorrow, with your life, because
Mm.
we're not promised, and a lot of things don't matter in life, as long as we are happy with ourselves and we love ourselves, first,
Yeah.
because if that can't happen, then, how can you love and make somebody else happy if you're not happy? So it all starts within us,
Yeah.
and God gives us that opportunity to take care of ourselves. A lot of times we don't take advantage of that,
Yeah.
so it's definitely a blessing.
Yeah, man. He is a blessing because like you said, he opened your heart, or your daughters, like you said, your daughters helped you find love, right?
Learn how to love.
Learn how to love, and for your son and for all your kids. I'm sorry to hear about that, about you losing your baby, but also he is a blessing because I don't want him to touch the camera. He keeps going there. That's why I keep I keep thinking he's gonna, but he is a blessing, man. Nico, come here. Come here, give me 5.
Yeah, and he loves being at the track. He's always up.
$5? Yeah, that's
He's gonna be
good.
shy now. You're not
Come here.
shy.
You're not shy.
silly.
Give me 5. You look like the ghost from one of those movies.
He loves
Where
all
you-
that
Come
scary
here, give me
stuff.
5. Ah!
Show him your muscles.
All right. Be careful because the camera's behind you.
He's definitely shy.
Yeah,
When attention's on him. So,
Sometimes the story of Job. He takes things from us, the devil, the God, and we lose things. But also, if we're good and God, if we're faithful to God, God starts giving us things back. There's women that pray and pray and pray for a son or for a daughter, and God either doesn't give it to them or does give it to them. So he's a blessing, man. We got to look at life as everything that happens is like, especially everything good, is a blessing.
mhm.
And things that happen that are bad, I don't know. I don't know yet. I still haven't figured
Right.
that part
Yeah,
out.
because
But we can't blame God.
I felt, like my parents did, blaming God.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
it's like he's only 3, and I just had people around me that bring me back. It's like, come on, there is a reason, something, he needed him more than I
Mhm.
needed him. And I wasn't ready to have him, if that makes sense, which it sounds
It
morbid,
sounds
but
crazy. Yeah.
but I see it now living today is definitely, it's heartbreaking,
It's
because like
hard.
my son's mom, she went down a different road. We split after he died.
Mm,
So she went down a different road, and, she's in prison right now.
yeah.
So, and I went a whole different route, so it's how you feel and what you believe in, to get you
Yeah.
to the next chapter in life.
Yeah. That's, man, that's amazing. It's crazy that happened, but somehow, like, you got to think about it. Like, I thought I had the woman of my dreams, and then all of a sudden I get taken out, go to jail, go to prison. And then when I get out, I meet the woman of my dreams, my wife, and I got this beautiful whole life. Like, so sometimes I feel like, I don't want to say that. You said like that, like God needed him more, but also maybe God just wanted to destroy that whole whatever. It wasn't for us, like the relationship. Maybe not the bait. You know what I mean? Not that part, but I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why
Right,
God didn't. That's why I get confused about that stuff because I don't want to tell you that I
And
know
that's
anything.
a good thing, is we've only met for, what, 2 hours now, and
Yeah,
you preach about, religion, and it's not like you're pushing it like a lot of
yeah,
people
yeah.
try to push it. It's just because at the end of the day we don't know anything.
Mm-mm.
We go by our faith,
What we did. Yeah.
and in what we can get from scripture, but besides that, we just got to go with,
Yeah, we got to
the
have the
heart.
faith. But it's hard because we don't really know. We want to, you have to completely believe in him. That's what it says. But man, we've also lived in the world. So we're like, man, like, people have been telling you all these times that there's no God and all these people, but also look, we us three, we got to see what God, the good things that God does.
Mhm.
and we gotta don't worry about religion. Worry about the relationship between you and Jesus Christ. The relationship between you and Jesus Christ, because like the rules and the regulations and then this and then that. Don't worry about that. Read, like, learn about what Jesus said, like how Jesus wants us to be: loving, caring, respectful. Love our neighbors. That's the kind of thing. Don't worry about what everybody else. Because a lot of times people will say, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to wear a dress, you got to wear a skirt, you got to cut your beard, you got to do this, you got to go, you got to come preach, you got to do this, you got to give me $10, you got to give me that, you got to give me
Can't have
100.
tattoos.
You can't have tattoos, you can't smoke, you can't. But if we
Right.
try to do all that, we'll never. How am I going to tell a young rapper, you can find Christ, but you got to do this. No. Have a relationship with Jesus Christ. And I'll tell any rapper that, and he'll be like, for real? I'm like, yeah, you don't got to go do all that, like with your mind, everybody.
Right.
And
Right.
fine. We start reading the Bible. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. What are you doing with the Bible? Did we already talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay. You're reading it and learning from it?
Yeah, I write it down, read it out loud.
Okay. That's good. That's helping us. It's going to put this great people around us, great aura around us. All right, so did we miss anything? Did we want to talk about anything else?
I think that's about it for now.
Okay. Let's say a message to basically from your your life experience through racing or whatever. Give maybe a young girl, she's 16, she doesn't know where she's gonna go. Maybe you could like help her, guide her to something, give her a little bit of hope.
Keep faith. Don't worry what others say, because it really doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, if you're happy and if you're doing something that makes you happy, forget what everybody else has to say. Forget if like your appearance or anything. Forget all that, because you're beautiful the way you are.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's awesome. And then for you, maybe like my brother, his name is Dito. He lost a baby. He at 7 weeks old. And that's something that he struggles with to this day. Maybe give a father that's going through something like that. Maybe you can like, because you've been that's an experience you've been through. You lost your sister and you lost your son. Somebody, a grieving father, what would be something that you would tell a grieving father? Like, give him some
Stay
hope.
busy. You definitely got to stay busy. There'll be a moment where you want to, tip the bottle. Yeah, tip that bottle, then stop. Like,
Mhm.
you can't let that consume you. You can't let drugs consume you and be in a whole mess. Like, I stayed busy for a reason, because I watched my parents grieve all these years,
Mhm.
So I learned if I stay busy and keep my mind busy, it's not dwelling on what's brewing inside,
Mhm.
So it's definitely a hard challenge to keep moving forward, but you have to.
Yeah.
You have to, for all the family members you have next to you and standing by your side, you got to make sure you're good,
Mhm.
and you don't have to go and seek counseling or anything, because I didn't do none of that. I just stayed busy, stayed
Mhm.
working, try to keep my mind busy, and racing definitely helps that.
Yeah.
That keeps me at peace, like, because I'll be an angry SOB, most of the
Mhm.
time. But if I start working on a race car or anything, it's just I'm at peace.
Mhm.
That's definitely, the biggest blessing I guess I would say is,
The
my
racing.
peace of just working on the cars,
Mhm. Just working on it, you
just
can find
working.
peace.
hmm
Ah.
Like racing, it's
Definitely.
it's definitely a tricky sport, in which I remember when I was racing years ago, my dad was like, "Oh, that wreck
Stop.
happened right in front of you,"
Mm.
Like, I couldn't believe you got past it or
Yeah,
got through
yeah.
it. I'm like, "Dad, it was like really slow.
Uh,
It was like slow motion.
yeah, yeah.
Like it was easy." and stuff. And he was like, no, it wasn't. When we seen the video, and I'm like, holy crap, you know? And funny thing is, she said that a couple weeks ago with racing. She was like, that is like slow motion. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, she has it.
Yeah.
She can slow everything down, and like that's a good trait to have in
Yeah.
racing. You can slow everything down where you're not just, oh my God, and
Yeah.
panicking,
Yeah. Because that's when the accidents come.
Right.
Right.
So you have that internally in you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So where can people get on to follow you guys or follow the racing team and all that?
You can get on Facebook and look up Carrillo Racing on
Okay.
Facebook,
Carrillo Racing.
on all her socials.
And then people can follow you individually or the racing thing?
Yeah. For
Okay.
on Constance Carrillo.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
And I'll post that on there. So thank you guys so much for sitting down with me. I appreciate you guys so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe on their pages. Make sure you follow Nico, and he was the star of the show today. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you follow them. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you follow me. We appreciate you guys so much. Have faith, show love, give hope, let go, and let go.
We're breaking the mold, sharing God's truth, the greatest story told. Welcome to the show, where hearts ignite. It's time to grow. Let's shine.